Okay, this is another lesson on baptism. Just takes a few minutes. In 1 Corinthians 10, it speaks of baptized into Moses. Then, of course, there's another text, Romans 6 says baptized into Christ. People say, why do you all water baptize? In this text, for example, the agency of that merger there is not about water. That is, first and foremost, this was not about water. Let's say an unbeliever who hasn't yet been born again or regenerated through the gospel. Agency there would be the right message or announcement, whichever way you like to explain that. But secondly, if a person is baptized with water and that text is referenced, then with reference to and that would be, of course, Christ. But interesting that in the Old Testament they were brought through the Red Sea here, and the circle here is, if you want to depict it so easily, this circle, this is Moses. This is that little word ace, into, or ice, however you want to say that word too. I'm Cherokee, I'm not Greek. And Baptists walked with us on the Trail of Tears, so I'm very much indebted to them. I have a lot of respect for people that collaborated with the framers of the Constitution and Thomas Jefferson and built the wall of separation so that no state might express itself religiously and be some kind of tyrannical force that people have had to escape. But those that came into, so when it was over with, all these people were here. They were congregated. They were the church in the wilderness. So if you came to be part of that congregation in the wilderness, you would come through water, if you will. But they didn't send them back to go back through the Red Sea again, you see. That's kind of silly. So today, the difference in when we are baptized, and the little circle is how you represent it, and the little koine, it's ace. And so this circle is now Christ and all the people here. The implications being much greater. It certainly triggered a lot of persecution. The Baptists, we have a record of martyrologies that is undisputed. Trail of Blood, although books that have been written might be ridiculed, I don't know if anyone's actually ridiculed the actual trail of martyrs' blood of the Christians who've died throughout every century. Triggered primarily because of water baptism. Because when you come out and renounce everything between you and God except Christ, which is what we do, and it results in a congregation recognizing no one between them and God but Christ, just like this congregation recognized no one between them and God but Moses, that becomes quite a predicament. It has political implications. As you see today, there's a religious state warring against the West, and people are bantering over the vocabulary and the glossary that would be used. But all former religious states that ran amok in the world have all been brought under the rule of law. Eventually, that last one that's going around in somewhat of a, I don't really know what to call it, their flesh and blood jihad, which is in the name of any kind of religion. Witch hunting once was practiced in the United States by religious fanatics who took upon themselves the state rights. So they hunted witches, so that hunting season was closed by the baptizers. The disestablishment of religion that is in the historical documents of the United States history books was accomplished by the baptizers, and that happened in the state of Connecticut in the United States. And as disgruntled as the Congregationalists might have been, and the Federalist Party, which is now obsolete, might have been, the disestablishment of religion that occurred there is somewhat of a unique event. But baptized into Moses, baptized into Christ. Of course, when you study Romans 6, people debate and whatever. There's really no debate there. If it's an unbeliever, that is someone who hasn't been born again, and you use that text, which if you need to, that's fine. But your agency of the passive voice would definitely first be the gospel. Now, once they're born again and through the gospel, which is exactly what the Bible says, and if you want to, with reference to that implications of the baptism there into Christ and the participation with reference to it, that's all that is. But we'll go over some more seemingly difficult text to see what the big deal is and enjoy the study. So let's move on.